story about Virginia that tells you about the Virginia of today compared to the Virginia when I was born 60 years ago. Because I think it's a powerful story, and it demonstrates why at the Fairfax Committee and as a statewide candidate, I really challenged myself with my team, Brandon Gasway as my press secretary in the campaign, to try to reach out more broadly to our new American media. When I was born in Virginia, 1958, I wasn't born in Virginia, but when I was born in 1958, in Virginia, 1 out of every 100 people had been born in another country. So we were not that much of an immigrant community. Even when I moved to Virginia in 1984, there was sort of an attitude of, you better have been born here if you want to make something out of yourself. That was sort of a stereotype. At that time, we were not only 1 out of 100 immigrant born, but frankly, our state was poor. We were 38th out of 50 states in per capita income, so that meant we were bottom quarter of the United States in our economic fortunes. 60 years later, I just turned 60 in February, 1 out of every 9 Virginians is born in another country. 1 out of every 14 Virginians has at least one parent who was, 1 out of every 14 is born in Virginia, but at least one of their parents was born in another country. And we've gone from 1 out of 100 to 1 out of 9, and guess what's happened to our economy? We're not 38th in the nation in per capita income, we're 12th. So now we're top quarter, not bottom quarter. And in fact, no state in the country has moved as much as Virginia has in terms of our economic fortunes from bottom quarter to top quarter in the last 60 years. We are the best economic success story if you measure it by family income of any state in the country. So I always say to anybody who raises questions about immigration, well, let me prove to you how immigration has been so helpful to us. The growth of our new American communities in Virginia has been a real transformative part of Virginia's economic success. And if you think about it, it makes sense. We live in a global economy now. Whether people like it or not, it's a reality. And if you are going to live and hopefully survive and thrive in a global economy, it's great to have points of connection with the globe. Dulles Airport is a connection, 400 nonstop flights a week to foreign cities. Our port in Hampton Roads, that's a connection. It's one of the busiest ports on the east coast of the United States. But people are also a connection. At a time when businesses are trying to find customers abroad, or businesses are trying to be culturally sensitive to all the kinds of people who are their customers in the United States, if you have employees or if you have connection points with this global economy, you're going to be more successful. So I can really trace, and I firmly believe this, it's not the only reason for Virginia's economic success, but I think it's actually the most salient reason. The willingness to be open and diverse, and the fact that people from other nations have found Virginia to be a place where they could come and find opportunity, this has been such a huge part of our success. I really, having lived abroad in Latin America in 1980 and 81, I've always had some sensitivity to the need to reach out to new Americans. I'll be blunt. Being somewhat fluent en español, es más fácil para mí hablar con la gente y los periodistas que son latinos. It's been easier for me to do the outreach to our new American community that is a Latino community. It has not been as easy for me, or just as completely natural, to do outreach in the API community because I don't have a language fluency. So I ask my team, challenge me, and I have a really strong team. The political director of my campaign, some of you know Alice Tong. Alice is here in the Asian American community, and we have a lot of staffers from the Asian American community and others to try to make sure that as we think about who Virginia is, we think as broadly as we can. So that's one of the reasons I wanted to do this today. In the Senate,